How's it going, guys? It has been a while since I made a video. It's been about 4 months or so. Really, the honest reason why I haven't made a video in a long time is simply because of work. I started work, and work has just been crazy these past few months. So I really haven't had much time to edit a video. I did want to drop this video a few weeks back, but the audio ended up being glitched. And so I had to wait another few weeks to release this video because I was trying to make it during Thanksgiving, didn't work out, and so now I'm off for winter break and I'm actually able to get this video done. I do want to try to put out more videos because I do enjoy talking about video games and things that interest me. Um, so I'll see what I can do. I definitely do. Well, I'll make it a goal to make more videos. I'm not gonna hold myself to that goal because I always say I'll make more videos and then I end up just not having the time. But anyway, I've been wanting to make this video for a while. It's about Dragon Age the Veilguard. Came out back at the end of October. I purchased it the day it came out. Now it's gotten a lot of flack um, from people that have played the Dragon Age games previously. They're complaining about the dialogue, how it's not as good as the previous games. And with me, I haven't played the other Dragon Age games, so I don't really have that to compare to. I can only give my opinion, my overview of how I like this game, and I've really been enjoying this game a whole lot. I haven't played in a couple weeks or so, but I have put about 30 hours into it so far, and I'm enjoying the game. It's just a solid, well polished RPG. And what I haven't seen people talking about uh, is that when the game came out, there were no glitches, there's no microtransactions, the game works. I mean, everything works fine. It's a complete single player game that just works. And it's kind of sad that that's kind of the standard these days that we're expecting games to just work when they come out like they used to back in the day. But we're so used to just having these broken video games being released or these games that are not complete, games full of microtransactions, DLC that you patches you need to download day one, and so on. And just with seeing this, just a well polished single player game, it's really just a nice, refreshing change of pace. It's something that I've been needing for a while because I was getting burned out by all the free to play, all the microtransactions from all these games, the battle passes. See, I play my Switch a lot because I know there's a lot of games on there that are not going to have that stuff. Um, But yeah, I purchased this game for my ROG Ally. It actually works really well. It's really well optimized. I do have to play in turbo mode for it to run, but for the most part, it runs really well, and I'm really enjoying playing it handheld. I do want to try to hook it up to a monitor and see how it looks. Um, but yeah, just let me get into it. Talk about a few areas here. First off, let's go with the story. The story is pretty engaging. It starts you off like right at the end of Dragon Age Inquisition, where you're trying to hunt down Solus or whatever. What ends up happening is you end up releasing like these ancient gods, these ancient elven gods that are just here to wreak havoc on the world. And so you're just going on this adventure, gathering your companions and helping out the different areas, the different people, and it's pretty engaging. It's got a lot of good world building. There's a lot of different codex entries that you can find throughout the environments. Your companions that you interact with, there is a lot of, I guess you could say, um, dev- character development with them. They do have solid character development. You can develop relationships with them like you could in like games like Mass Effect or the other Dragon Age games. They all have their own individual stories. Like there's certain quests that you can go on where it just focuses on you and a sort of companion, and it's just like a slower, tight paced quest, where you're just kind of walking around and you're having conversations and you're completing objectives that are related to this companion storyline, and it all builds up into this complete whole that just really makes you feel like you're living in this world. Um, the world is well detailed, the environments are beautiful. I mean, it's really a beautiful game. The way they have their cities and um, other areas, you can feel like people are living there. There's activity going on. Whether you go to like Treviso, which is this kind of like uh, city overrun by the Antum, this race of warriors who have taken over the city. And there's like canals, and you go through these zip lines, and there's all these people in these markets, and or you might have like the Elven Forest, which has all these beautiful magical elements to it, and you can see how the Elven people used to live there, and like something happened to them. And there really is a lot to engage with, um, and you have your companions with you. You can have up to three companions at once. They're all unique. They all have their own unique character traits. They all have their own abilities. I'll get more into that when we talk about the gameplay. But overall, it really makes me feel like, I'm part of this world. I'm making a difference. I've heard some complaints that, especially like with the dialogue, like that there's not a whole lot of variety. I guess because people wanted to be evil, like you could in like games like Fallout, or I guess in some of the previous Dragon Age games, you could be evil. But the way the story is, the way your character is, the way because his name is Rook, the way your character is, um, it doesn't really necessarily make for an evil playthrough. The character is good, and it's nice to just have a character who's a hero basically. I mean, you're playing a hero, and he's really just he's like a ordinary normal guy. He's not like a savior or anything. He's just a normal guy gathering his companions and trying to do his best to save the havoc that's been unleashed on this world. So there's a little hub area where you can go to, taking a break between quests and such. And in this little area, you can develop more relationships with your companions. You also have like your own bedroom, and you can decorate it, which is a really neat touch. Like there's decorations you can find throughout the different areas. You can also buy decorations. So there's nothing really to it. It doesn't give you experience or anything, but it's just cool to just have a little area that you can decorate with all the things that you find throughout the game. You also can change your appearance there. You can change your wardrobe, change the appearance of any outfit or weapon that you have. It all adds to the world building and to the story itself. Now let's get into like the actual gameplay. The gameplay does come down to a couple elements. You have the exploration, which there's like simple puzzles that you can complete. There's also, like I said, you can find codex entries, you can find decorations, you can find gold, you can find upgrades for your equipment or better weapons, better armor. There's all kinds of treasure chests hidden throughout the map and different secret areas that you can find. And I'm a completionist when I comes to these kind of RPG type games, so I'm really enjoying uh, just finding all the treasure chests. And it's simplified. I mean, it's treasure hunting basically, and on the map there's treasure chests that show whether you found it or not. And it's just a good way to explore the environment when you're not in combat. So the combat itself is real time. It's action based. You do have the ability to pause to choose your spells or your actions for you or your companions, which I kept that feature on because I did like pausing to see what I wanted to choose. Kind of reminds me of like Final Fantasy 15, where like that was real time, but you could also pause to choose what you wanted to do. You can choose either one. You can choose to just have the abilities as shortcuts and just everything being real time, or you can pause it. And there's such a different variety to the combat. There's like different combinations of spells that you can use to weaken enemies or to perform certain actions on enemies. There can be a lot going on the screen at once with all the different abilities going by. But for the most part, the combat is really fun. It's kind of similar to like God of War. You have a strong attack. Um, you have your normal attack. Depending on what class you choose, that will affect the combat. I chose the rogue. So the rogue has like two weapons that he holds in his hand, like double swords. But he also has a bow and arrow, so it's a ranged attack. And you can have up close melee, not melee, but up close attacks with your sword as well. And you can use your bow and arrow to weaken shields on enemies, break their guard. All kinds of little elements to the combat that I'm not mentioning here because I could get into it for a while. It could be in its own video in itself. And I did want to keep this video around 15 minutes because that's the amount of gameplay that I have up here for video. You also have you have a guard ability. You have a roll um, that's built into it. You have like a little health bar that's like you has up to like 3 potions that you can use. So you can use your potions to replenish health, or your companions can heal you, or you can find potions in nearby green jars. The combat is, I mean, it's fast paced, it's frantic. You can be dropped in these close knit quarters, kind of similar to like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal. These close knit quarters with these enemies where you're dodging and rolling, you're attacking this enemy, you're firing a spell on this enemy, you're rolling back using your bow and arrow for a ranged attack on this enemy, break his guard. You're telling your companions to use this combination of spells to weaken this enemy. You're having a companion stop time, and then you use your guard attack to do a quick attack and uh, make an enemy have some bloodshed or bloodletting. There's a lot to the combat. There's a lot of different combinations. It can be as deep or as simple as you want it to be, and I appreciated that choice. Yeah, that's the two main things you're doing gameplay wise. Besides the exploration and the combat, I talked a little about the dialogue before. You do have dialogue options to choose from, which does affect the story in some ways. There's definitely some good representation in this game, especially if like you're a member of the trans community. There's some good representation of the trans community in this game. Your character can choose to be trans. There's some dialogue options there. Um, but yeah, when you're talking to characters, you have different dialogue options where you can choose to find out like more about the world, or certain dialogue options can increase your companion's relationships. Like it might say like this companion approves of your decision, or this companion does not approve. Um, so it's little things like that can affect the gameplay. I mean, everything in this game is just really streamlined. It's well polished. Things can be as simple or as deep as you make it to be. You have choices when it comes to combat, choices when it comes to dialogue options, choices when it comes to equipment. To engage in side quests or just stick with the main storyline, because there is a variety of different side quests. Like I said, there's little companion side quests. There's side quests that advance the lore, um, or there's side quests that can help your relationship in different areas, because you can build your relationship with different towns. You can upgrade like the shops. based on your reputation with the town. And that will allow you to purchase new items or have new upgrades to equipment, etc. And as far as like the RPG elements, there is, of course, the different equipment upgrades. You do level up. There are skill trees for each one of for yourself and your companions. All your companions have their own gear and weapons, and you can customize how they look. You just can't directly control them in combat, but there is some choice here when it comes to building your character and uh, uh, picking different skills for your companions. So those are the RPG type elements. But for the most part, this is more of an action based game. So if you're looking for a more traditional RPG experience, it's that's not the quite type of game that this is. But yeah, there's a lot to love about this game. If you're a fan of like our action RPGs, I would definitely recommend picking this up. And that's all I can think of for now. I'm sure when I end this video, I'll remember, I forgot I should have said something about that. But, at least I put this video out there and I appreciate you watching it. See you later.